Hello, everyone, no one, future, time-traveling past listeners, and everyone in between. This is the inaugural episode of the HIVE podcast, where we are going to be discussing the ups, downs, lefts, and rights of the video gaming industry, past and present. My name is known as HIVE MAYHEM, and I am the founder and original member of HIVE Gaming, which at the time of this recording, if I'm not mistaken, is going on 16 members from across the entire country. I love every one of you. With me here today is one of those fine gentlemen. I'm going to let him take it from here.
Hey, everybody. My name is Eric, or HIVE TALKSHOW. I've been a member of this clan for, what would you say, Luke, like 3-4 years now?
I was going to say, you got to be going on at least 3+.
Yeah, about 3 years. My brother's one of the founding members, but located here in the middle of the country, suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. I'm 3.1 decades old to make me sound young. And I guess we should probably just give them a little bit of our gaming history, you know, how we grew up, what we like, don't like, something like that.
That is a perfect idea.
I would say my first true console was probably the Nintendo 64. What was yours?
Sega Genesis. I do not recall whose it was or how it was given me, but as far as I know, I've had a Sega Genesis.
The handheld or the actual console?
No, I wish I had the handheld, the Sega Gear, the Game Gear, whatever that thing was called.
Yeah, the Game Gear was my first.
Oh, they're making little mini ones now if you want to pay $50 for an individual game.
They come with 4 games each, and you have to buy all 4 for the magnifier. It's ridiculous.
What?
I already looked into it.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm uninformed. I've heard they're making them. But no, the Sega Genesis, and around that same time, there was always a NES or a SNES, I guess it would be at that time, because that was the 90s, mid-90s.
Yeah, my neighbor had a SNES.
Yeah, see, I never had a Super Nintendo. My first Nintendo console was also the N64. But nope, Sega Genesis first.
Yeah, I remember playing Pilot Wings on that.
On N64?
Yep.
Oh, see, I thought you were talking about SNES, and I was going to say, well, obviously the standards being, you know, Mario or Super Mario 3, I think it was around at that time. And for some reason, just burned into my brain, Acrobat. I don't remember much about it or anything at all, but it was a Super Nintendo game about an acrobatic bat. Bounced around and swung on stuff, and yeah.
Oh. I remember Duck Hunt on the NES.
Yes. And I was one of the people that never knew you could play as the dog, too. Yep.
Yeah, didn't know that either.
Dang.
So, yeah, and then...
I forgot to do my location and all good stuff, too. Your intro is a little bit more fulfilling, and I feel left out. I am from upstate New York. See, what else did you say? Your age? Oh, I don't want to tell people how lusciously young I am. Nah, I'm 29. Going on 30. I'm creeping there, so.
Yeah, you're hitting the 3-decade mark.
Yeah, I'm getting there. 3 decades.
Mm-hmm.
We did. Let's see. Yeah, I think that was all you covered. And then, well, your brother, you said. Let's get into that real quick. I did not mention that. Your brother is one of the inaugural members. Most of our members, I would say, are offshoots of either Chaos, myself, Chaos being Talkshow's brother, by the way. Chaos, myself, and Rain, actually. Rain is a in real life friend of mine. Another upstate New York, as many of our members are, and then the rest are, well, actually, no, I'm excluding people. Most of the rest are offshoots of you guys, so that'd be Midwest, and then we have, one in California, one in Nebraska, and then, oh my goodness, somewhere up north, somewhere in Canada, the far, far away, the icy fjords.
Well, yeah, that's right.
And then
I forgot about him.
Okay, you forgot about your brother. Yeah, some of us do. He's been playing a lot of PC lately, so it's kind of easy. We're an Xbox clan, by the way. I don't think we've mentioned Xbox once. We're doing a good job.
Yeah. Xbox mostly, a little PC.
I was going to say mostly. I shouldn't say primarily. I should have said.
You say mostly Windows.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing nowadays, really, in the exclusives, and what game that we're playing really isn't crossplay, so that's a good point.
Yeah. All right.
Microsoft, we're not Xbox.
So, first console. What's your favorite console? I feel like is a trick question because everybody has a nostalgic favorite, and then of course it's basically just what's the newest.
Well, I was going to say, if we're talking about favorite, I'd have to go with the newest, if we're being honest. I mean, Xbox One in particular for me, and also I'll include PlayStation there.
Yeah, I feel like a majority of people, if they're being honest, they have to say whatever the newest one they bought's their favorite. Because nobody's buying an Xbox One and then going back and playing the Xbox 360.
Exactly. And it's like, well, we have 100-man battle royales, or 100-person, battle royales, and all sorts of things that we just couldn't even think about. GTA is like, oh, you can go into every building, and we were talking about that in Vice City. It's like, oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. There's a stock market practically. Come on.
Yeah. But for nostalgia,
you got
probably the 64.
Okay. Well, if we're going on nostalgia,
toss up between the 64 and the PS2 for me.
Ooh, I didn't even think about the PS2. PS2 is another good example.
It's a dark
of one
horse.
That just best-selling content. No, not the best-selling anymore, is it?
No, not anymore. It's been
dethroned. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll still have a place in my heart for PlayStation. I switched over. That's a good story for another day, I suppose, but PS3, that's when I switched over. The great PSN blackout of whatever that was, 2011 or not 2011. Geez, when was that? A long time ago. But yeah. 60, and so yeah, my favorite I'd say is the current. We got battle royales with 100 people, completely destructive buildings, games that you couldn't even conceive, back then. But nostalgic factor, GameCube for me.
Yeah.
That was a weird Nintendo era that I had there, where I was never a Nintendo main, but I had a GameCube.
Never really could get over that controller.
Oh, see, it's so weird but good at the same time. The triggers are so satisfactory, but then, super carpal tunneling.
Yeah, I loved, Red Faction on the PlayStation 2 is probably why the PlayStation 2 is my favorite. That, and you could play Final Fantasy VIII on it still. But Red Faction 2 had Destructible Environment. It was one of the first console games to actually include that, including in the multiplayer.
I do recall Red Faction. I don't remember what system I was playing it on at that point in time.
Maybe was that regular Red Faction? Maybe Red Faction 2 was the one that came out on both.
Gorilla, I think, was the second one.
Yeah,
something like that. I don't recall what system I played that on, but I did play it, getting up to those two opposing buildings and the nuke up top. It was like two parking garages across from each other.
You tunnel all the way across.
Was there?
You could build one if you had enough rockets.
And see, that game is a perfect example. That game was so fun. It had a great multiplayer, all sorts of stuff. There wasn't really online. I know PlayStation 2 had online capability, but did it? Kind of, sort of.
PlayStation 2 did not come with network support out of the box.
Right.
They released an upgraded model, or I think some external plugin you could attach
you
to
could
it.
snap something. Yeah, they had like a weird Ethernet in the back.
The original Xbox was shipped with network support. Like, you could plug an Ethernet cable in it from day one. They planned ahead. In fact, if you connected that to your computer, you could play with people online on the original Xbox before Xbox Live was even rolled out.
Like the original cringy Xbox commercials, like, "Hey, bro, I'm playing with people across the country."
Before this was before commercials, before they even shipped the first Xbox online game. You could plug it in, and there was this open source program called Xbox Connect, and you basically clicked local because there was no online option in Halo, the original. You just hit local, and you would find them in the program, and then it would trick the system into thinking you were locally connected.
Hmm.
But yeah, OG Xbox, I was playing online on the original Halo before
I was never,
Xbox Live.
I was never a Halo kid. That was before, and unfortunately, I think that got a lot less popular right as I switched. I did pick up Halo. I don't remember which one it was. Halo 3. That day, that fifth.
Halo 3 was the
Yes,
beginning of the downturn of Halo. Halo 2
and that's
was
the
peak
one.
Halo.
And that's the one I picked up. I went and traded in all my PlayStation stuff. I got fed up with it. I was not satisfied with, oh, now you have to pay money for online, and sorry for it being down, and change your password. Yeah, all that noise. So I went and I got an Xbox 360 and Halo and whatever Call of Duty was contemporary at the time, or current at the time.
And now you can play Halo on PC. Took long enough.
I could never get into it. I'm super happy that there is still such a diehard audience, and I think clearly it paved the way. I have all the respect in the world for it. I see, and we've talked about that. That's a good versus topic for another day, another episode, if you will, because we've talked about the differences between. I really think there is a deep-seated difference between were you a Call of Duty person, were you a Halo person?
Yeah,
And that
boils
really
down to
changed
realism versus fantasy.
Yeah. That changed, and that's not even just FPSs. I really feel like, there's even amongst our wily bunch of people here, if you play Halo or just play Call of Duty. Exactly. So I'm not going to be playing Call.
Yeah.
Oh, what about game? All right, let's move on here. We got our favorite console out of the way, nostalgic, current. Did we do game? We kind of got sidetracked.
My favorite game is probably Final Fantasy VIII.
Ooh.
Everyone can get out of here with all that 7 nonsense.
I was gonna say, I know 7 is the one that's so deeply reviewed, but I played 10. I played 10.
10 was great. I really enjoyed 10 myself as well.
10 was the first game that I ever binged, cracked out on all night, or whatever you want to call it. It was the first game that I remember just being so captivated on, and oh man, trying to play those final few, missions or whatever.
Yeah.
The cutscenes with Sin on the little slim PlayStation that just it didn't have the horsepower, man. I had one of the slim ones at that time.
Yeah.
And it just froze 10 minutes or, 5 minutes into the epic cutscene, Sin popping out of the water, and froze, start over kit. Maybe that's why I overrated it.
I made it to the first iteration of Sin before I had to call a friend over for help. And it was because I completely skipped over the tutorial for the skills points. So I made it all the way to Sin without any skills, period.
Dang.
Like I just never even opened that page.
You just strategied it out, yeah.
As soon as I started putting points, I was like, oh my gosh, this makes things so much easier. Wow.
Wait a minute, you can call down what from the sky?
So you can do this without calling in, what is it, a garden fighter?
Oh my god, dude, that was so long ago, and I didn't keep playing them. That was another one where I wish I kept up with. I played Dirge Cerberus a little bit.
I don't know, they're all independently different. And really the only ones I've found that I've enjoyed have been 8 and 10, and, I kind of enjoyed 13.
Which one was 13?
13 was the one with lightning. But I more or less got sucked back into that one because they brought the gunblade back, which is a callback to 8.
Right. I see. I'm Cerberus. So that must have been like 11 or 12 then.
Probably.
Or was that even a numerical title? Was it one of the weird offshoots that they did? I don't know. Who knows? Well, if I can steamroll right over you here, my favorite game, hands down, no nostalgia factor needed. Put me on an island with one game for the rest of my life. I have it on my phone. It's awesome. Def Jam Fight for New York. It's on PlayStation 2, and I believe GameCube had a later version. They did a remaster. It was called Fight for New York or the Streets of Brooklyn or some weird, I don't know. But that game, that game. That's all. I just can't say enough about it. That game is just the pinnacle for me. That was the one that I could play and still could bust that game out. I'll play it.
I will have to give that a look. I haven't played it.
Hip hop character. What was it? 2000s, so like 2002, 2003, Def Jam, and it was right up my alley when I was a kid. It was everyone I loved, like Busta Rhymes and Snoop Dogg and Fat Joe and those other different characters, and they had big dramatic, WWE style finishers, and people were getting their heads turned around. It's and it's a what is it, a KIA fighter or something like that? The engine, the KIA engine or whatever. I forget what the acronym is. Kion.
Whichever way you want to say it, really. I mean,
one of those old Kia engine fighter. I don't know the terms. Yeah, I'm a great podcaster. I've not done any of this research. It's just a great fighter. It was, still is, and I'm pretty sure there's even still a competitive tournament fight. I mean, I'm not alone here. That Def Jam Fight for New York, killer game, old school.
Okay. And what's a game that you really just don't understand its popularity at all? At least favorite game that you played.
You want the hate. I see. Well, no, I'm not gonna go hateful. Let's see. The dirty one, the one you never want to say out loud when you're like, I don't really like those games. I would say doubling back to Halo definitely fits the bill for that for me. That's one of those where I'm like, I don't really like Halo, and I feel like I'm going to get my head bit off. But there's probably some better ones. But to be diplomatic about it, I never understood the big deal about Halo, and man, I had another good one, but there's so many Rolodexing through my head. I'll let you go. Maybe I'll cut you off. I apologize.
Yeah, I mean, the way you feel about Halo is really the way I feel about Call of Duty. I mean,
maybe that's why we're that's why we're such a good pair here. We're on the opposite end of that sword.
Yeah, it just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know. I don't like the gunplay, I guess, is really what it comes down to. They just have completely different feels. I mean, I'd rather be playing Apex than the new Call of Duty right now.
That maybe if I can butt in here, do you think it's about maybe like the bullet travel, time to kill, whatever aspect you want to call it, right? Because that is the main difference. Apex has a loppier bullet feel, slower bullet feel versus Call of Duty, which is hit scan. Watch that kill cam. It was 2 feet. How did it hit me?
Yeah. I mean, that might be it.
Yeah. Or seasoning. Also.
I like the abilities and stuff that they've thrown in. So.
Yeah, that is really cool. As a Call of Duty man, quote unquote. Oh, that sounds so bad. But yeah, we'll as a more Call of Duty burst player, I even enjoyed the one that they had abilities in, which was like Black Ops 3 or whatever it was, when they did more of a hero shooter. That was cool. They could do some of that.
But then I gotta say, the game I've liked the least that I've bought recently, hands down, has to be Anthem.
Yeah, that had to have been. I saw that one coming, and I'm very glad that I dodged it.
The flight mechanic, there's nothing. There's such a cool world that's just empty, and it's just a disappointment. And I know they're working on it, so I don't want to go too harsh on it. They may turn it around like No Man's Sky, but it was just a disappointment out of the gate. Right after your Iron Man, wore off.
Yeah, well, that was my question, actually. Do you think that, or have they even gotten that content? As I haven't heard people ranting and raving that all of a sudden Anthem's a great game, unfortunately.
Oh, they've acknowledged it's going to be a long process. I mean, they immediately pulled away from the community and cut off all communication as soon as the negative reviews started hitting, and they haven't really opened up. Just so, I mean, who knows if they do an ad campaign for the relaunch of the game, maybe I'll take another look. Until then, I'm trying to forget I spent money on it.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm going to hijack that one because you had a good idea there. My dislike of, what game that I bought recently do I regret the most? And it's not because I don't enjoy it. That's the worst part. I'd have to say The Division 2. And I mean, I bought it for a lot of the guys in our group when it was like dollars or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, here, buy it for everyone in the group. I bought it for $90. I loved the first one. Loved playing it, didn't really have anyone to play it with. I was so hyped about it. I was like, this is going to be awesome. It's the second one. It's going to be in New York. It's going to be so cool. And then I just didn't play it. So I had a fancy $90 game that I was probably playing freaking Apex and Fortnite. So, yeah, free game.
I totally tried that out, but you're right. Without like a set group of people, it's not as fun.
Yeah. So you got the feds pulling up on you already? Is that what I hear?
Oh yes, some of the garbage trucks.
Oh dear, taking out your trash opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Let me throw Anthem out there real quick. Hold on, you forgot now.
Yeah. That Division 2, but again, not because I don't like it. It's a great game, very fun game. Even running around, messing around solo, it's beautiful. My wife watches over my shoulder, and it's a great game. Fun to look at, it's fun to watch, fun to play. I just don't. Sucks that I paid $90 for it. Yeah. Could have gotten it for $2, and I wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah, I mean, that about sums up my gaming history up to this point. I mean, currently I'm playing MechWarrior Online, I guess. That's my flavor of the week, flavor of the month, whatever.
That be PC?
Yeah, it's PC. Free to play. It's on Steam, or you can go directly to mwomercs.com and download it there. You have to make a profile there anyways, even to get it from Steam. But
how does mech shooter with a keyboard?
Yeah, if you like mechs, big robot gunfights, give it a look. There's new trial mechs every week that are pretty decently equipped, so like fresh players that can come in and be pretty well suited to, hold their own in any battles. And once you earn enough C-bills from your battles, you can buy your own or customize one, and you can strip all the armor off and go full glass cannon, or you can be as tanky as you want, choose anything from a light mech weighing as little as 15 tons to an assault mech at 100 tons. I mean, it's really fun half the game is spent in the mech lab just customizing your mech, but once you find a build you like, just roll in and hope your teammates are competent.
Nice. Very cool. And the only mech adjacent thing I could say that I've really played would be Titanfall. The Titanfall 2 for a bit there.
So if you enjoy the mech fight in that, it's worth taking a look. The new MechWarrior 5 is out on Epic Game Store. I think it's coming to Steam soon.
Again, a mech shooter on keyboard? That's got to be killer. Maybe some people would probably, say, well, what are you going to play with a controller? But I couldn't imagine something that complex.
Yeah, I mean, you can have as many as like 6 different loadouts or 6 different weapon groups. So, I mean, you're gonna want you can play with a keyboard. It's got a controller has controller support, but yeah, I mean, you control the torso and the legs independently, so you just got to get used to that.
Yeah, well, good point. I mean, leg cannon, arm cannon, you're going to need some buttons.
I mean, if you want to get yourself like, some joysticks, probably do
I was
okay.
going to say, get 2 flight sticks, get that going, and play Titanfall like that. That'd be awesome. Maybe not Titanfall, but you get the point.
Yeah.
Is that like a cockpit based, I should say? Or, well, you said you had doing kind of independent.
So you are in the cockpit. It's first person view for the most part. There is an optional third person view. However, they took a pretty awesome realistic approach. It pops basically a little floating camera behind you, and so that's how you will see in third person. But if you're looking in third person, while you can see better, enemies can also see the floating camera, so they know where you are too.
Like floating camera is in like a physical, actual camera that's going around you, kind of like a ghost in Destiny.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the little ghost. It's basically just a little ball that pops up, and that's your third person view.
Huh. Well, that is a pretty neat way to incorporate it. Make it, hey, this person's using third person.
Yeah,
they're not really putting this.
You're looking right at peek. They'll let you peek, but if anybody's paying close attention to that corner, they're gonna see your little camera.
Just see sort of like Orby going around your head.
So that's what I've been playing this week. And then having a lot of fun with it.
You really can.
But what are you playing?
I've been playing Apex with you guys. I finally got switched back to night shift, so that's going to help me with my video gaming schedule. I've kind of been not really able to play too much, but when I am playing, let's see. I bought the new 20. I don't know why everyone hates that so much. It's really, really fun, especially if I hate to admit this. If you are a bit older, you're going to enjoy that game more. If you play the story mode, it's like the old ones. So if you're hearing the reviews that are like, oh, it's trash, and story mode's still trash, it's really not. It's pretty funny. I think you have to be a bit older to get some of the jokes, like, losing to Jerry Lawler in Memphis and so on. It's really cool. 2K20 is not as bad as everyone makes it out to be. I think it's pretty neat. Controllers are a bit wonky, but WWE, we just got DayZ on Xbox on Game Pass. I gave that a whirl. Literally puts me to sleep. That's not a criticism. I love it. It's very cool, very fun, very hardcore, and I mean that super hardcore.
Okay.
Apex, Modern Warfare. It's really Forza. Forza. I get through the first episode.
Much as I was just talking about how I don't really like Call of Duty, I do still enjoy Warzone from time to time. But yeah, once I start getting salty, I gotta go back to Apex. Something about Call of Duty just triggers me.
It's in the nature. It really is. It's one of those, because it's so, I don't want to say precise compared to, there's so much less variable. I think that's why it pisses people off. Like Apex, you can really outfox people. Well, this character is better than that character. Of course, a caustic is going to be to so-and-so, and a lifeline is not going to be. No, Call of Duty, it's just, you just got slapped.
Yeah.
You saw that. You got slapped.
There's no excuses to be made.
I think that's just in nature. But yeah, besides Modern Warfare, let's see, Apex, WS. Yeah, I dabble. I can't play one thing at once. Forza, that was the one that I wanted to make sure I didn't steamroll over. Love Forza Horizon 4. Absolutely love it. Got a wheel that I'm figure out how to get to work properly. Otherwise, I'm just a bad driver. Yeah, that's what I've been playing.
All right. Well, one of these days.
You been watching anything like that, or before we get out of here? I know we gotta wrap it up. We're closing out.
I just started watching The Dragon Prince on Netflix, that anime that they did, and I've determined that it's just like the Avatar Last Airbender. I know it's made by the same people, but I mean, the parallels are ridiculous.
Well, that is pretty cool. I was going to say I'm not really much of an anime guy, but Avatar and Last Airbender, I should clarify, is definitely one of the ones I'm more familiar with.
Yeah, we're watching this ridiculous show, something flowers on Netflix, but they have just a flower display challenge. That's pretty entertaining.
A flower display? That must be more like a time-lapse thing. Like, all right, we'll be back in 3 weeks to see who wins.
Let's see, this last competition, they're supposed to make animals and stuff like that, so they basically just arrange a bunch of flowers and plants to create the animal, and they can have a frame and stuff like that. But we were watching Blown Away, the glass blowing competition and other stuff. Just started looking at other competition shows that are just kind of out there.
Nice. Never been one for the competition shows too much, honestly. I don't watch that much TV, but I have been watching, Vice has been doing a documentary series called Dark Side of the Ring. It's WWE and WCW, pro wrestling, essentially. The dark side, all the dirty, nasty crap that's happened over the years that they don't like to admit. And, oh man, murders, and it gets worse than that even. It's really crazy. They even do one on Benoit, which is a really interesting thing because that was really, that happened during when I was, 15 or something like that. That was a big moment. So, yeah, that changed a lot of stuff, concussions, all that bad stuff. They talk about all of it, but Vice is doing a really neat documentary on pro wrestling, Dark Side of the Ring. That's really awesome. Besides that, I don't really watch that much TV, unfortunately. I like pro wrestling and all about it, but it's kind of hard to watch right now. They have no crowd. It's weird.
Yeah. Corona's really changed things.
Yeah, odd times right now. So hopefully this little project you and I are doing here is going to be entertaining at the least. I know people are sitting inside a lot, so maybe our chances of people falling upon this and falling in love with it's better. But we're going to be chit-chatting about all sorts of gaming stuff, everything. We're going to be doing this. This was just the inaugural episode. From now on, we're going to try to get at least one of our other, 14 besides you and I people. We got plenty of people to talk to. We're going to think about taking questions, and we're going to have lots of fun with this. But
I got Kenobi we can bring in. I don't think he's officially a Hive member because he never gets on the freaking Xbox, but...
No, I will pull random people out of Xbox parties if I have to. I don't care. Yeah, I think this went well. This is a good inaugural episode, good intro episode of the Hive Mind. I think we're gonna have some fun with this in the future. More topics to come, more games to come, challenges. We can do all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, anybody who happens to be stumbling around and listen to this, give us some feedback, give us some ideas. Maybe we should do some reviews in the future. We have pretty different opinions and takes on games. It might be humorous to see which games you love and I hate and put a review together.
Absolutely, I agree. Reviews. We could do a whole entire. This is just the beginning. We're kind of just spitballing here. We decided we were going to pull this off, and I think it's going pretty well. I don't know. Well, all right. We got more to come in the future. Again, thank you for joining us. Potential, future, past, time travelers, everything in between. This was fun. I think we're going to have a lot more to talk about next time. We got to start writing.
Yeah, we got to start getting stuff done.
Yeah, cool, yeah. Well, hey, thank you for joining us. The Hive Mind Podcast. I'm Mayhem.
And I'm TALKSHOW.
We'll see you next time.